Hello, my name is Wim van Zyl. I come from a lineage of funeral undertakers, a great-grandfather, a father, and a grandfather funeral undertaker. So that's where my art comes from, the death, beauty in death. I literally grew up in a funeral home. When I took my naps, my grandmother put me in a coffin to take a nap. So mom and dad is still doing funeral undertaking. When I was little, my father excavated graves, and then when we get to the bottom, there was the skull with coins on the eyes for money for afterlife. And that's where my fascination with skulls and then also the jewels in their eyes. There was a specific moment in time when I realized that I see things differently. I was little and I was walking. We lived in Newcastle and I experienced Deja vu. It was a feeling with smell and a feeling with, I've been here before. And that feeling just became more and more and more in my life. When I bought this house, I got that same feeling again, a famous feeling. And my art also give me that feeling. It's this doorway into a magical world. My art style is called assemblage, object art. After a world war, I don't know if it's World War I or II, there were no material for the artists to do art. Literally all the shops was closed and they were just like bomb rubble sites. And the artists, just after 1900, started picking up pieces on the war bomb sites and started putting it together, assembling it together. And that's where assemblage got birth. I just had a lifetime of collecting and never knew why I'm collecting. And then one day, midlife crisis, questioning life, trying to understand, trying to make beauty out of what I'm feeling. Something in me wanted to die, the old Wim wanted to die. And then to find a way to express that creatively and to share that with people so that people can understand me better, and also to make death beautiful. What drew me to this was definitely a feeling inside and a turning inward, and then trying to express it, and a sense of completion. I want to complete, I want to put things where they belong, and honoring objects. People give me objects. I'm very lucky. And so it's a way of honoring objects. I grew up very religious, so there was always this feeling of honor and using your hands to praise God. It maybe sounds cliche, but my art is God in me. And that is how I express it. If you can't see God in the shadow, it's important to see, I feel it's important to see God in everything, in the upside down. I call my series the Tabernacle of Memories series. I grew up in church, so there was always this promise of a tabernacle, a holy of holies. And I made that my own, Tabernacle of Memories, because the objects I use in my art is precious objects. It's grandmother's objects, it's grandmother's earrings, it's ancestral heirlooms. The elements that make up my sculptures, once I decide I want to do something and a theme arises, the universe normally bring me the objects. It's a wonderful hunt for me to go to markets and see what comes up, and then people also bring me stuff, and then I know I must find a way of incorporating it in this tabernacle because it's in the same time that I was building it. And then sometimes objects come to me at a later stage, then I know this object belongs to this piece. I collected the pieces all my life. I never knew what is going to happen to them, and then a completion happened. I felt a completion. I want the most valuable objects to go into them. I also like a juxtapose of cheap and nasty and very wealthy and opulent. but I want real pearls, I want real diamonds, I want real gold, I want that opulence. You find these shadow boxes, Tabernacles of Memories in England and in Europe easily, but you don't find them in South Africa. So I decided I'm going to make my own. Yeah, so the thing is, I at a stage was shy to express myself, and I started building these boxes, how I see myself, how I would like to walk in the street, or how I dress the boxes. And then at a stage, new Wim got birth, and I came home into me, and my boxes are full of symbols. In the midlife crisis, I realized I need to start reading symbols, reading life more deeply. And so I use lots of symbolism in the boxes. Since I was little, I gave myself a spot where I could build a little dream world, like a circus world, or now I've got the ability to put things together seamlessly, and a desire got birth in me to build these little glass domes. The glass domes are there more for protection of dust. It's not part of the artwork. The artwork is more the photograph. That's where you really, for the first time, see the real artwork. Here it is in a dome. The dome is not the artwork. The dome is just there for dust protection. The glass dome came to me through a friend, and he gifted me and said, come on, make something. And I started with a beautiful candelabra with a spiral, leafy spiral around the candelabra, like the circle of life and like the vortex of life. Is the middle point of this, and I built the skull on top of it. It was my base. So everything was put in there to look beautiful, but you don't even see it. But it is there, the heart of this emerging, this chrysalis of being, transformation. The timing around my pieces, how long it takes to complete them, depends and differs. Sometimes I can work literally an hour to 6 hours on a piece, and then the basis is there. And then as time goes, it evolves. Sometimes I break pieces completely because I am the artist. I can do what I want to do. Sometimes they marry. 2 pieces have married. So it can literally take a few hours to a month to 2 years. Emerging the chrysalis of being, I started in 2017 with literally the candelabra, the skull, and a coral and a fairy quartz. And then I got gifted the seahorses from my Sangoma. That's their magic. So yeah, there's mythical and magical elements in my pieces, and it's not sourced unethically. It's dyed natural, and it's sourced very ethically, and it's an honoring of death. I think emerging the chrysalis of being took around about 2 years, to take shape. And how long does it take to complete a piece? I'm 48 years. It took 48 years. Because this is the fullness of me, and it's collecting for years, and for me to have come to this place took 48 years to fight my battles, fight my demons, make peace with my dragon, and then include it, not pushing it away, making it part, transcend and include. My work has 2 poles, 2 sides. If you're on this side and you feel something and you're depressed and you're down and you're dark, what is the other side of that? Don't go away from that, stay there, but just think in your mind, what is the other side? And then there's a beauty in that tension. This is about that. And it's an inclusion of all. When does it feel complete for me? There's a color theme, there's a feeling theme. I also decorate all around, from on top. I'm a visual intuitive. I didn't study art. I have 30 years of hairdressing experience, and that was my art school, being visually balanced. Then I had a sense of urgency in me that this is very important work. It was for no one's view, it was for nobody, but just for me to try and get a way to express how I feel, so that maybe people can understand me better, but that wasn't even the intention. It was for me to get that sense of completion and understanding and put words and visual on how do I feel and what I'm going through. I looked for a photographer to capture my work, and I could not find a photographer because the time wasn't right and there wasn't a right collaboration. I wasn't ready to be vulnerable in front of everybody. A photographer literally put his lens in my work, and it felt for me like they're putting a magnifying glass in my guts. I wasn't ready. When Russell Smith came, I was ready. And he's a hard person, and one day they cut hair with me, him and his son, and I was a little bit down, and they made it their number one concern to make me laugh. And I saw these people are something. They are hard people. And I said, Russell, come look at my art, come home, come see if we can do that, see, I don't know how you're going to capture it, come. What drew me to Orms was working with Orms for many years, knowing Orms as a big establishment, and I feel safe and drawn to Orms. Over all the years, people were very friendly, and I work with feeling, and my yeses are deep and my no's are deep, and Orms felt yes. It felt like you guys rolled out the red carpet for me from day one. It felt like home for me, and I don't want to do it with anybody else than you.